Dara, good afternoon. It's the end of June 2019 and welcome to a small video about fixing a composite door mechanism. Now, we have a double glazed door, and until recently we were able to open the door, but surprise surprise, with the 25-degree plus weather we're having, I found I couldn't actually open the door. Now it's a fixed door. I'll show it working. Here we are, and you move it, it works, and it comes fully out, and then when you put the handle down, this goes fully in. And the problem we were having is that this wasn't going fully in. It was going in just enough so that we could actually get the door open. Otherwise the door would have been stuck and we would have been in the right pickle. So this is a sort of diagnostics video to tell you how to fix the door if it's a similar problem to us. So the problem we were having, just to reinforce that, was that this would go out, but this is in the lock position if you like, and then as you put the handle down, it would only go to about here. It wouldn't completely close, it wouldn't completely open. I mean to say that it was very, very lucky that we were able to get the door open, only because this distance was just big enough and there's a bit of a gap between this and the door frame. So how do we fix it? Well, we did a bit of YouTubing, and I will put the references to the most helpful YouTube video that we've seen. But there's a strip that goes across the top of the door. It's not a UPVC door, it's a handmade wooden door, and there's a strip that goes all the way down. And there's two different types of screws. There's some sort of hex-like screws here, and there's some Phillips screws here. And the key thing is that in our case, gremlins had got through holes. So insects, we think they were either solitary bees or some sort of earwigs, had made a nest in the actual mechanism behind this strip, and that had actually stopped the mechanism moving. So the point of the video is, how do you actually clean this out? Well, the first thing you need to do is remove these two, the front and the back handles, which is quite easy in this case. It's just a screw here and a screw here, and then this handle pops off, and then the reverse handle will pop off. The next thing you need to do is to remove the lock. So here's the barrel lock here, which is separate from the internals of the mechanism of the door here. So what you need to do is you need to put the lock vertical, key in there vertical, and go to about either 5 degrees or 10 degrees that way, 10 degrees that way to the right, and inside there's a lever which will then clear the internal mechanism here. So once that's cleared, so you put it to the 5 degrees, let's say that way, then you'll find that this barrel will come out freely. So obviously these handles are removed first. You put it to 5 degrees, and sorry, one more important thing is you have to remove the screw that's at the bottom of the door. So remember, these hex-shaped screws here are to do with the mechanism of the door. Do not undo any of those screws, but this screw here is a regular Phillips type screw, and that this screw here is the Phillips type screw, and that is actually the screw that's actually in line with the bottom of that lock. Can you see that? So the bottom of that lock, so you undo that screw, this is at about 5 degrees, and then this lock mechanism will actually come out. So now you're nearly there. The last thing you need to do is to go to every Phillips-like screw. So again, do not touch these screws, but you see that screw there, that screw there, that screw there. This will already be taken out. This screw here. Take all of those screws out, and literally the whole of this metal strip will then just fall away, and behind that is the actual mechanism for the handle here. And also, as you see this bolt is coming out here, there's an equivalent bolt coming up at the top and at the bottom, and there's a box that's here. So it's a box here, a box down here, and a box here. So the whole strip comes out. I recommend having 2 people do it. And then what we found is that behind this box here was a colony of little alien creatures. Well, I think they might be a colony of earwigs, or they had lots and lots of eggs and lots of shells. And they'd actually also, I think solitary bees had completely filled the back of this mechanism with kind of pollen-y type stuff. So much so that this slot here was completely and utterly jammed. We tried to just clean it with a hoover, and some tweezers, but we just couldn't get everything out, so it was necessary to take this metal strip off. So we took the whole of the metal strip off, cleaned everything, greased the lock, put the whole thing back, and then the recovery actions were to stop any holes. So what we've tried to do is, there's been some places here where the screws have been broken off, where the original fitter had a screw that broke off. So we've covered those holes up, and those holes were the places where the bugs actually got in primarily. We've also, there's a big slot at the top, so we put some duct tape at the top and at the bottom there to try and prevent any holes, and we may consider putting something here as well, because of course there's a big slot there. When it's in a locked position, the slot is down, and when it's opened, there's no slot. So since we're going to leave it obviously in the locked position most of the time, we'll have to see what we can do. I don't think we may not be able to do anything there. So that's it really. So now it's all working fine, and we feel like heroes. We didn't have to call out a door smith or a locksmith, and that's how to do it. Thanks for watching.